Hi guys, it's Rob and Ning. Look at this vista. Standing here in the Vista House, which is a historical site right here in Oregon, Portland, and Washington all combined.
Right.
And we're here. Are we vacationing?
No, we're not actually, Robert. Nandito po kami sa Oregon. Actually, we are in the boundary ng Oregon and Washington because yun pong ating home run guest is taga Vancouver, Washington, which is very close dito po sa Oregon. And ito pong client na to is very special kasi, you know, they called us and would like to talk about yung pong kanilang reverse mortgage experience. Kasi karamihan ng mga tao, Rob, they thought na California lang ang pwede nating tulungan ng mga client. But he will be a good testimony po na we can help you anywhere in the country.
So let's watch Roger from Vancouver, Washington.
Maraming nagsasabi na huwag kang kumuha ng reverse mortgage. Makukuha lang sa'yo at hindi ikaw may-ari ng bahay mo. Pero I read everything about reverse mortgage. You own the house, but you have to see to it that you pay the home insurance, property tax.
Batid ni Mang Roger ang mga limitasyong pinansyal na hinaharap ng mga katulad niyang retirado.
Dahil nag-retired na ako, so wala na tayong income na lumalabas, you're on fixed income because of your Social Security. So naisip ko na to enjoy life, kailangan magbakasyon dito, magbakasyon doon.
Alam din niya na malaking kaluwagan ang makukuha niya sa pamamagitan ng reverse mortgage. At tiwala siyang maaaprubahan siya sa reverse mortgage gawa ng naipong equity sa kanyang bahay.
Naisip ko, mag-apply ako ng reverse mortgage. I'm very much confident na I can be approved for a reverse mortgage because of my equity that was built up.
Nabahala si Mang Roger nung unang kumalat ang sakit na COVID. Tumakbo ito sa bangko at kumuha ng pera mula sa kanyang 401k.
Nag-withdraw ako ng malaking pera kasi natatakot ako baka ang bangko ay biglang mag-close at mahirapan kang kumuha ng cash.
Sa kasamaang palad, biglang nagkasakit naman ang kanyang mahal na asawa.
Noong nagpa-COVID shot siya, nagkaroon siya ng reaction. First time. Na-collapse siya, na-hospitalize siya, marami na siyang issue. Back and forth siya sa doctor after that. So sabi ko, don't worry, meron pa tayong funds na magagamit.
Ngunit mahalaga para sa mag-asawa na ma-enjoy nila ang kanilang buhay.
Kinuwenta ko ang mga gastusin namin, lahat, pati mortgage. Okay naman sa fixed income namin. Yun nga lang, wala ka ng extra because we like to go traveling.
Sa tulong ni na Rob and Ning, tinuloy na ni Mang Roger ang pag-apply ng reverse mortgage. Ngunit hindi naging madali ang pag-approve sa kanya gawa ng ilang desisyong pinansyal na ginawa niya noong nakaraan.
Kaya nagtagal yung proseso dahil sa back and forth ng mga document. Sasabi ko, sobra na ito, back and forth, balik tayo sa mga dokumente. Pero there's a time na talagang parang give up na ako.
Ning, that story is just pretty amazing.
Yeah.
What I like about it is Roger, you know, had already done some research. Number one, you know, he got rid of all the misinformation. He knew exactly what reverse mortgage was about.
Right.
Right? You know, so many people still think, you know, the bank owns. He had already figured that out on his own.
He talked to 7 companies actually.
Yeah, 7 companies looking for the right company to do the reverse mortgage.
Yeah.
And once he found that, you know, he was ready to go. We're the 7th. That's the only thing I would say is we shouldn't have been the 7th call. We should have been maybe the first call. That saved him some time. But, you know, it's good to see people do some of their due diligence up front, right? Because sometimes they come to us and we have to clear all of the, you know, all the misinformation.
Right.
Sometimes we do. Most times we do. Sometimes we don't. He had already taken care of that, which is a big hurdle, right?
Right. And so, ang kagandahan pa din po sa kanya is na-calculate niya na lahat, Robert, yung kanyang finances bago siya nag-retire. Na sinasabi niya nga, you know, we can afford this house.
Yeah.
It's just that lahat ng kanilang retirement income will just go to their usual expenses monthly.
Yeah.
So wala na silang magiging pera to kind of like enjoy life. And that's why they decided to do reverse mortgage.
Yeah, you know, he and Josefina love to travel,
Yeah.
right? But, you know, before the reverse mortgage was done, and obviously there was, you know, paperwork on reverse mortgage. We got to be honest with people. It's very detailed, right? They
Right.
want to make sure people fully understand the process and the loan,
Right.
So you got to bear with that, and he did.
You mentioned about that paperwork, and really, medyo tumagal yung proseso because of what they call mattress money. Can I
Yeah.
just explain that to
Yeah.
them, Rob? So ang mattress money po, ang ibig sabihin nun, meron tayong cash, malaking halaga na cash na nasa bahay lang natin, wala sa bangko. And so when you are applying for any type of loan actually, kahit po regular loan, FHA loan, reverse mortgage, pagka po meron tayong ganung malaking halaga, we have to be able na i-prove sa lender kung saan nag-originate yung pera.
Yeah.
And in fact, sa kanya kasi, nakuha niya yung pera na yon more than a year ago. And so, they're pretty good actually. I'm so impressed na he was able to provide all those documentations na hiningi natin. Also, the one thing that I heard from him that I really, really like, Robert, is yung kanyang knowledge na he has a lot of equity sa property when he approaches, and so he's pretty confident na makukwalify siya sa reverse mortgage, right? And so he wants to take advantage of that. So sa case po ni Mang Roger, yun pong equity, tinake advantage niya, Rob. And so, kaya po sila nakapag-reverse mortgage.
He did, and it's a testament to him. Did his due diligence, came through. You guys worked the paperwork, which was a little struggle with the mattress money. You know, mattress money is very common in the Filipino community.
That's
as you know,
right.
I have mattress money. It's a jar of coins. You know, he has thousands. And so, but it's interesting how you got to document all that stuff, right?
That's right. So, saludo po kami sa mag-asawa. And you know, Rob, what's interesting too, right? So, sinasabi natin na mukhang ang real estate market is changing. Ito pong mag-asawang to, they will stay in their property for the rest of both lives, na kahit ano pong mangyari sa real estate market, wala na po silang iisipin, aalalahanin na making payments.
Kaya nga malaking pasalamat ko kay Miss Ning at Rob dito sa approval ng reverse mortgage. Mali ang mga akala ng mga tao na porke ang Get Real na Rob and Ning California-based lang. Pwede yan sa 50th state. Kami nasa Washington, na medyo ilang oras din yung biyahe dyan papuntang California. Yeah, they can do business either in every state. Na bumisita sila sa amin dito, yung tiwala ko sa kanila noon, lalong lumaking tiwala ngayon.
And don't go away, because when we come back, we're going to meet a Fil-am group right across the border from Portland in Vancouver, Washington, and they have some tremendous stories.
Ano, huwag kayong maalis.
We are active not only in social gatherings, but also having a voice in the community, and I think that's important.
Use the QR code on your screen to ask about no upfront cost solar. Or text the keyword Rob and Ning to 888-807-1119.
I like the weather there, it's really nice, and I also like how there's more places to discover, and they really like basically the place because it's like really beautiful and it's really sometimes peace and quiet, and I really like that.
I feel like it's really open, like people can really be themselves around there. I see a lot of signs and stuff like that, like people aren't really judgy. You can be yourself, basically.
Rob, what a great find here dito sa Portland. We came across with this private lavender field. Can you smell? It's so good.
Yeah, it's
Smells so
actually
good.
called Columbia View Lavender Farm. It's really off the road where you can come and you can buy lavender products.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got the lotion.
Yeah.
It smells so good.
No, it's very, very beautiful, very nice. So many varieties of lavender, right? I didn't know there were so many.
Yeah.
I thought maybe one or two, but there's a lot. So this farm is actually on the Oregon side, but yesterday we crossed the border and went over to Vancouver, Washington. We met up with a very interesting and fun group, and they call themselves the Filipino American Association of Vancouver, Washington.
At kinwentuhan po tayo ng kanilang chairperson na si Luis Ordonia. Panoorin po natin.
The name of the organization is Filipino American Association of Vancouver, Washington. We are Vancouver, Washington, and not Canada. We're actually the original Vancouver. The purpose of FAAV has evolved over time. It started out as a way for Filipinos at that time to gather for social gathering and whatnot, and it evolved to where we started sponsoring groups and different organizations from the Philippines and to help entertain Filipinos on this side of the U.S. And since I have joined, we have evolved. We have been doing a lot of different outreach in the area, even in the Philippines. Anytime, like for example, the Taal volcano eruption, and any type of episode that happens in the Philippines that we can somehow assist and, or help with. We come up with fundraising events. That's what we do, is we send out packages or monetary funds over to specific organizations to help out a wide-reaching audience. I'm surprised what we were able to do because we were such a small organization. Whether it's helping with the food supply, helping our Filipinos who probably would need a little bit of assistance, and at the same time being able to reach out to our folks back home. Over the last 2 years of the pandemic, we actually did a lot of outreach programs that I really feel proud about. And even you see we're by the port, we have seafarers, Filipino seafarers. And one of the last things that we did, it's the last time that they docked at the port, we actually provided up to 50 vaccination shots for them. So those kind of stuff, through our fundraising efforts, everything goes back out to the community, and that makes me feel proud of what we do. So when I first moved here to Vancouver, since I'm not local to this area, I felt left out. I felt like an outsider. It wasn't until after I realized that there are so many Filipinos in the area that I became home. And so when I joined the organization, that's one of the things that I wanted to bring, is I wanted to include not only other Filipinos who may not be aware of the organization, but also younger Filipinos in the area. I just think that it's important, whatever we provide, keeping the culture alive. So FAAV allowed me to have a voice as a minority in this area, because we reach out to not only the local Filipinos in the area, but also other organizations, non-Filipino organizations. We are able to speak our voice. Like, we are active not only in social gatherings, but also having a voice in the community. We are here to support the community, not only local community, but also we find different ways to always stay in touch with our heritage and find ways to help out the folks that we have back home.
Hi, my name's Tracy Cadagack, and what I love about living in Portland, Oregon is that it is home to Nike's world headquarters and the Portland Trailblazers, and I think Portland offers the best quality of life. We have the beach an hour away, the mountains an hour away, and the desert an hour away, and we get all 4 seasons. It's moderate weather, it's very green, the fresh air is fantastic, and it's just a wonderful place to live. Love it here, and it's my favorite city in the US.
Ang gusto kong mangyari, madala ko dito yung mga kamag-anak ko, mga kaibigan ko na gustong magtrabaho dito as caregivers.
E2 is one of the most underutilized visa categories. Use it.
Save up to 50% on your electric bill with Sunrun. Use the QR code on your screen to ask about no upfront cost solar. Or text the keyword Rob and Ning to 888-807-1119.
Welcome back. We're still at the lavender farm here in Oregon, Ning, and that was a great, story by Luis about their group.
Right.
We have two other people, right, from the same group that are going to share about their businesses.
It's very interesting, Rob, kasi ito yung typical na negosyo ng mga Pilipino dito sa Amerika. And may bonus tayo kasi kasama din natin si Attorney Gretel na magpapaliwanag sa atin about business immigration. Panoorin po natin.
I'm a small business owner in Portland, Oregon. Hindi ko siya na-imagine na yun ang magiging business ko as opposed to the career I had when I was in the Philippines. I was on television when I was in the Philippines, and when I came here, I started doing different jobs. I worked for the Portland Trail Blazers, the NBA professional team, and ever since, I've been doing the same care home business. It's taking care of elderly people. And actually, lots of Filipinos, yan ang mga negosyo nila dito sa Amerika, or at least here in Portland and Vancouver area. So, and it's a very successful business. It's a lot of work, pero it's worth it. It's very manual, physical, at saka you have to have the stomach to do it. You're taking care of the elderly, you're doing their personalized care at your own home. I mean, at least that's the level I have. My business is based in my home. Others can be in a bigger facility, but I opted for a smaller scale kasi mas madaling i-manage. So ang daily routine, you have to wake up early, you have to cook for your clients, you manage their medication, to name a few. Ang pinakamalaking challenge ng business na ito is the staffing issue. Mahirap kumuha ng reliable caregivers. Ang gusto kong mangyari, madala ko dito yung mga kamag-anak ko, mga kaibigan ko na gustong-gustong magtrabaho dito as caregivers. And immigration has a big part to make that happen. Kasi nga, hindi ka basta-basta makakapag-hire ng caregiver. There's a process. This business is a very good business. Sa startup lang mahirap siyang gawin. But once you're established, you're a success story. I advise that yes, maybe experience being a caregiver and see for yourself if you can do the job. But everything can be learned. I mean, like for example, myself, I was a TV news anchor back home. I came here, did other kinds of jobs. I decided, I put my mind into it, and I did it, and I have no regrets.
As far as yung mga Filipinos, for example, na gustong mag-start ng business dito sa US, there's a special kind of visa called the E2 Investor Visa category. So I think very underutilized itong E2 Investor Visa. Basically, it's a kind of visa where if you are starting a business, say a food truck, for example, or a care home, for example. So kung gusto mong kamukha nung sinabi ni Evelyn, we'll use her business as an example. So kung gusto mong mag-start ng care home, you could partner up with somebody that already owns a care home. So basta meron kang majority ownership. So let's say 51% na ownership ka, you could apply for this E2 visa, and then you could get initially admitted for 2 years. Pagkatapos yung spouse mo makakakuha ng work permit, and yung work permit is for open employment, meaning you could work for anybody. Separately, it's a separate process. If yung business later on, if it works out, then the entity could sponsor you for a green card. So kung sakaling, let's say, nakarating ka dito as a visitor and you got 6 months, if you want to apply for a change of status to E2, you could, so long as in status ka pa as a visitor, so within that 6-month period as a visitor, you could apply for a petition with USCIS, the Immigration Service, to change status to E2 inside the US without having to go back and be interviewed at the embassy. And then if you want, habang pending yung application mo for change of status, you could stay here legally waiting for a decision. marami talagang businesses na pwedeng simulan as an E2 investment. Pwedeng restaurant, pwedeng food truck, pwedeng dry cleaning business. So those are just some of the things na yung mga that comes to mind, yung mga businesses na set up na namin as an E2 investment entity. Merong ding car wash. I mean, basta ang importante sa E2 is kailangan you're actively managing it. Hindi pwedeng passive investment. So hindi pwedeng kunwari pupunta ka dito sabihin mo, oh, I'm just gonna go and buy this rental house. You know, yun ang investment ko. Hindi pwede yung ganon. Practically speaking, kahit na mabigyan ka ng, let's say, 6 months as a visitor, usually it's not even enough to time para i-set up lahat ng mga to. So normally what we do is we recommend before mag-expire yung 6 months nila, you file for an extension of your visitor stay. And part of the extension is you end up explaining na I need to stay not because I'm gonna tour and visit all these other places, but because I'm looking at potential businesses to invest in. So at least meron ka nang na-create na paper trail in front of US immigration showing your intent. Ang importante for Filipinos is try to do your due diligence. If you're really interested in making a life here in the US, see what your options lang. Kasi what your options are. If you don't know anything and you can't do the research, pay the consultation fee for an immigration attorney, or some even do it for free, you know? So you could do your consultation para makita mo yung options mo. Kasi sayang naman you know? Sayang, may opportunity ka na dito. And like I said, E2 is one of the most underutilized visa categories that kung meron ka namang pwedeng i-invest na money, use it, you know? So if you guys have any questions, I'm more than happy to help. I mean, usually I tell you, just email me, Gretel Ness, and my email is gmn@pbl.net. I'm with the firm of Parker Butte and Lane in Portland, Oregon. Thanks.
Ning, I really like those stories that were shared by Evelyn and Gretel, right? For Evelyn, you know, she's a business person, individual, very common in the Filipino community.
Right.
Everyone wants to be in business, right? And she has some good principles that she has done. You know, she comes from a very kind of famous background, and to do what she's doing is really, really amazing.
Right. We met a lot of Filipinos po na nagra-run ng care home facilities, right? And merong mga magandang storya, meron namang hindi kagandahan na storya because, you know, I think some of them, like what Evelyn shared, na ang challenges po nila, ang main challenges nila is yung mag-hire ng mga caregivers.
As you know, Ning, you know, investing in real estate is a business, right? And so the same principles apply to someone that's in a different type of business, right? You know, whether it be, you know, what Evelyn does or whoever. And so we want to help those people. You know, everyone needs financing. Everyone needs tax support in terms of keeping out of trouble. We have learned and they have shared entity planning, right?
Right.
You can be in business for yourself, but
you can also be, you can form yourself into an entity. So pag sinabi po nating form a business as an entity, it will be separated from yourself. So kasi po, marami po tayong mga nakilalang mga caregivers o nagra-run ng care facility. They run it under their social security number. Instead of, they will form an entity na merong sariling tax ID.
And we want to help you. You know, we can spend more time with you if you give us a call at 888-860-9530, or you can visit us online.
Or go to our website po and schedule yourself for a free consultation with either Robert or Ning, or visit our Facebook page, Get Real with Rob and Ning.
And you know, Ning, I want a whole bunch of clients up here because I want to come up here way more often.
I know, and their donut, Robert, and coffee, I'm telling you.
You can't tell them the name, right? But they have good donuts in Portland.
I know.
Yeah. And don't forget to watch us next week for another episode of Keeping It Real with Rob and Ning. Until then, bye.